Multiple endocrine neoplasia is the topic for this video, in particular, multiple endocrine neoplasia type 2A. And that's also known as Sipple Syndrome. And the way I remember this is Sipple begins with S, and 2A is the second type of men, and that also begins with S. So that's how I remembered it. Before I get into everything, I want to show you a picture that sort of illustrates the three endocrine glands involved in men 2A. Those are illustrated right here. The first one is the parathyroid, and there's an arrow pointing to the 4 small parathyroid glands. And the good news is that the second organ, which is the thyroid gland, is in just pretty much the same location. So you can kind of remember it. Thyroid, parathyroid. Those are the two up here in the neck area. And then the final gland is right here, the arrow pointing to it, and that is the adrenal gland. And the adrenal gland, the tumor that is involved in men 2A is called a Pheochromocytoma, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later on. The 3 players, I'm going to make a little diagram here, or a chart rather. So you've got the thyroid, you have the parathyroid, and you have the adrenal. And in particular, it's the adrenal medulla, the middle part of the adrenal gland. And the thyroid produces a very specific tumor, abbreviated MTC, and it stands for Medullary Thyroid Carcinoma. So remember that. And the parathyroid, tumors involved are adenomas, and these lead to parathyroid hyperplasia. Hyperplasia also known as when the number of cells increase in number. And then finally, the adrenal medulla produces a very specific type of tumor with an interesting name, Pheochromocytoma. And I'll go into a little detail about each of these. And so here we go. So the presentation of the first one here will probably just be, as the diagram you saw earlier, a tumor or a nodule in the neck. And then the presentation of these parathyroid adenomas involved what hormone is being generated by those glands, and that is the parathyroid hormone, PTH. And parathyroid hormone increases calcium in the bloodstream. And when you increase calcium in the bloodstream, that can, obviously, I mean, the term is hypercalcemia, but hypercalcemia can lead to kidney stones as the calcium goes and deposits itself in the kidney. And that's also known as nephrolithiasis. And then finally, pheochromocytoma produces these catecholamines known as epinephrine and norepinephrine. And these catecholamines cause a strong sympathetic nervous system responses. One of the most important ones is vasoconstriction. And vasoconstriction, if you remember, causes high blood pressure, severe high blood pressure. So this leads to hypertension. But what's interesting about the release of epinephrine and norepinephrine from the adrenal gland is that it's episodic. It's kind of like that. So it's normal and then it's really high, normal, really high. And that reflects on the blood pressure. And these episodic bursts of catecholamines that come from the adrenal medulla are described as paroxysms. So, and that's also reflected in the symptomatology. You get paroxysms of high blood pressure and paroxysms of other symptoms related to pheochromocytoma, which include anxiety, headaches, palpitations, and also sweating. So as you can clearly tell from these symptoms, these are all strong sympathetic nervous system responses. All right, now let's get into the diagnosis. Well, a big component of the diagnostic workup of men 2A is imaging. because these are tumors that you would need to localize, and that's usually done with a CT or an MRI. So that's a big part of it. But in addition, there's blood tests that you can do and urine tests. So if you're trying to do a diagnostic workup of a suspected parathyroid tumor, you can measure parathyroid hormone as a simple blood test, and you can also, of course, measure calcium. Adrenal medulla, if you remember, releases epinephrine and norepinephrine, and these can also be measured. Another thing you can measure, in addition to norepinephrine and epinephrine, is the breakdown product or metabolites of these two catecholamines, and those metabolites are known as metanephrines, and these can be measured as blood tests or even urine tests. So that's a brief listing of the diagnostic workup. Treatment and management, MEN2A, really is surgical. That's the primary way. You have to excise these tumors, and also genetic testing is part of it, because MEN2A is hereditary. Multiple endocrine neoplasias are actually, they're all hereditary, and the genetic testing is very important in identifying a child with this syndrome early on, so that you can do the necessary treatments before it becomes more severe or, advanced stage tumors. And then finally, there's one clinical vignette, just one, and here we go. A patient consults a physician because of a small nodule in his neck that on biopsy proves to be a parathyroid adenoma. The patient's mother had medullary carcinoma of the thyroid. In addition to medullary carcinoma of the thyroid, to which of the following conditions would this patient be particularly vulnerable? Okay. Well, what's happening in this question is this patient already has this, and his mother had this. So this patient is not guaranteed, but most likely en route to developing MEN2A. And if he does, which other tumor or condition would he develop? Well, basically what they're asking you is, what's the final piece of the puzzle of MEN2A? And that's this tumor, which is a tumor of the adrenal gland, in particular the adrenal medulla. And that in this question is choice D.